I would just learn that you do Muay Thai.
Yeah.
You've been doing it since 2017?
Mm-hmm. But if a little bit of background, Kev, a lot of my brothers, like my brothers, is, you know, been in the streets and shit like that. I'm the only one out of my brothers that never been to jail. You know what I'm saying? I lost one of my brothers, but the brother I did lose, he was a backyard fighter back in the day with like Kimbo Slice and like Dada 5000.
Yeah,
and all
those
them
videos
boys.
were crazy, and that was all in Miami. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there was a movie that he was in called Dogfight. So I'm just putting you up on game. And I was also in the movie too, but that was like 12-year-old Denzel. And if you go on YouTube to this day and you look up like fights like Level Martinez versus Alfonso and stuff like that.
I used to watch all those backyard fights. They were crazy.
If you look at Tree versus Mike, you gonna see me there in a white tee holding the camera up.
So you used to be in the backyard.
I used to be in the backyard, like dead ass. Like I'm not even gonna sit here and lie to you.
How would they organize those things? Because
bruh, like my brother would just come in the room and he'd be like, "Hey Jit, you want to come over here and see me fight?" And I'm like, "All right," you know. I would go there. It'll be in Perrine, in the middle of Perrine. It would be a little greenhouse and a big ass backyard, and they will check you at the gate to see if you got guns, knives, whatever.
Right.
And if you got guns and knives, whatever, you got to go put that shit in your car, and then you come in. They check kids too, so you go in there. You know what I'm saying? And there'd be a ring in there. At first, it was like a box ring. At first, it didn't have no ring at all.
I was gonna say some of the videos there's just no ring.
Yeah, it was just people crowding around.
Yeah.
At first, they didn't have a ring. Then they had a ring. Then they had an octagon. Then they had a triangle. That was like the final, you know. And just being back there and just watching all these fights, you hearing the beef go down with people and shit, you know, and you're just like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Like, you see a big ass dude like, oh, I'm gonna get you, nigga. I'm gonna get, like, what the fuck? Like,
right.
Yeah, and I'm 12 years old looking at all this shit like, yo, this is like some real fighting shit. Like, this is some real tournament shit. And I'm watching people get knocked the fuck out. I'm watching blood just gushing, just out of my brother's nose.
Did your brother ever fight Kimbo?
Nah, hell no. Kimbo was already like in the UFC around this time.
Okay. Kimbo's
but Dada and Kimbo used to roll with each other until they kind of fell out. You know what I'm saying? And around that time, it was just Dada and what Dada was doing in the backyards. But Kimbo was before that. Okay. You know what I mean? So, you know, long live Kimbo, you feel me?
So that was kind of the origins of that got you interested in learning how to fight.
I mean, I had to learn how to fight. I had too many brothers to not know how to fight.
How many brothers do you have?
Well, one of them passed. It was 4 of us.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
And were you the youngest?
I'm the youngest.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got to learn how to fight.
I got to learn how to fight. I was like, either getting bullied outside the house and getting bullied inside the house. So I had to learn how to fight either way it go.
So in 2017, you take a Muay Thai.
Yeah.
What to kind of give us the rundown on like just the Muay Thai shit, because you're very passionate about it. Well, I don't think a lot of people know, because you're very, you know your shit, man. Like,
well, when it comes down to Muay Thai, man, I stopped smoking weed, right? And this was back in 2017. I felt like my life was gonna be boring because I wasn't like smoking,
right?
And then I was like, you know, might as well stop drinking too. So I just looked up. I remember I was doing martial arts with my brothers and stuff like that when I was younger. So I'm like, you know, when I find a time, you know, if I get enough money, I'm just gonna go back into martial arts. And I said that when I first started rapping and shit, because I stopped doing it. And then next thing you know, I was like, oh, there's a Muay Thai place right down the street. It was 5-star martial arts. Go there. I signed up. Guy signed me up. I looked at the class, and then I went in the next day, started doing it. Got my girl to do it, and then I just kept doing it ever since.
And it's been 5 years, right?
Yeah, it's been 5 years. I can't train now because I got a torn ACL, but like,
is it like do you get belts? What's your belt level?
Well, in Thailand, they don't really have a ranking system.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because they've been doing it since they was kids. They get a Prajib, but that's like cut off like addresses. That's what they will wear before they go. It's like it brings them good luck. But in like the ranking system at the school, they will rank it like how they will rank jiu-jitsu. You get what I'm saying? You start off white. You know, you might get a stripe. You might end up at blue. You might get a stripe. You might end up at purple. You might get a stripe. You might end up at brown. And then all the way to black, like brown to black. You feel me?
How
and
serious?
Some people rank their schools differently though.
How far would you take the Muay Thai thing? Because we know guys like we got a friend D Smoke who was like a semi-professional boxer before he really started popping as a rapper. So like, would you how far would you take it?
I mean, I wanted to compete. To be honest, I wanted to compete to see where my skill level was at, you know, to see if I'm pretty, you know, see where I'm at and see where I need to improve on, you know what I mean? But that's how far I was willing to take it, like to do a couple matches. But other than that, it was just I just like doing it for my sanity, to be real.
It's almost like therapy. Mm-hmm. Have you been to Thailand?
Yes.
How was that?
Thailand's dope. It's like very relaxing.
Did you go out there and like watch Muay Thai like in its, because you know you see these like YouTube videos of like the Muay Thai fights in Thailand?
You mean like Lupini Stadium, stuff like that?
I don't know, the shit's look crazy though.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been able to do that, but my boy Kashan, he been trying to get me to go back to Thailand and like go to the gyms, because you got to know somebody to have that connection to the gyms
just to get in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's open, but I would much rather know somebody who been there before and know these gyms. You know what I'm saying?
Pull up and be like, hey,
and just pull up.